Welcome to Club Blackbird, America's only pansy speakeasy and lavender-scented funeral parlor. We hope you will adore tonight's memorial service for some of the past century's most deviant acts of a homosexualist nature. Our host, the leader of the pansy craze, that 1930s sensation that swished through the nation, Gene Mallon.
I'm going to go beyond my usual act to conjure the blacklisted blackbirds who followed in my footsteps. The great pansy divas of song, from the questionably gay Danny Kaye to the outwardly queer Tommy Eson, Sylvester, nay, Klaus, and my pansy Jesus, Aziz. Now can you tell me what other dead fairy is going to hold a seance for these divas? If we forget these numbers, we might just vanish, and some might wish we would.
Those boys are only my friends. I'm not gay. Don't believe what they say. Tell me you'll know so gay. You can come to me. So Galunias will bring you money.
Come on, humans. Let's do the twist.
Because whatsoever education I acquired out of their sacrifice of over 300 years, I shall use for the salvation of building me a home.
Buffet, flat. Buffet, flat.
Walking beside me down these roads, we are sung like the hymns we become, never to be broken, no, undone, never to be broken, no, undone.
I am Samuel M. Stewart, PhD. I began with the piano and ended with the typewriter.
I am an invert.
Ciphers, records, and codes.
I began keeping records of every sexual encounter I had. I typed these out on what I called my stud files.
Sussex held England, July 1937. He had Oscar Wilde, and I had him.
Francis Barbatelli, Rome, September 28, 1951 through 1953.
Professor Kinsey. You want to meet? I do. You won't forget what I give you.
What might you be interested in trying? I'd like to try Greek.
Long, circumcised, thick, insane sadist of my dreams. What do we call this instant bond between two people? What would they say, one to the other, had there been time to speak? Or is such instant intimacy possible only when it's fleeting, only when it's left unspoken?
We are surrounded by homosexuals. They do all the good things in the arts.
Where do we start?
Herzl Street.
Why don't you play father?
1951, Merce's composition class. It was the first place that I ever made a dance. John Cage accompanied on piano, usual musical dissonance, fumbling for counts. Music and dance, side by side, independent.
Art in action is culture, growing within us like a new member, a mouthpiece for the soul. Our life is missing magic.
His whole house was an altar, but there were also little altars everywhere. Throughout the day, he would adjust this or that, in the same way that a devotee might finger prayer beads. Remy's god being art. It was as if his whole house had grown from the seed of his art table, where paints and pens lay patiently in their rainbow logic.
In your mind, imagine all those ancestors that came before us, the people who were not quite boy, not quite girl, but both at the same time.
Today, we'll be traveling through queer time and space, stopping along the way at places of historical significance.
You'll meet colorful creatures of the city's past and be led by a multitude of beautiful guides.
Some folks had to lurk in the shadows, hide in the doorways of dingy bars and clubs, had to whisper their stories into their lovers' ears to confirm that they did, indeed, exist.
Ladies and gentlemen, today you are about to witness the most deviant dance of 1908, the turkey trot. Yes, it originated right here at the Dash, but before that it traveled all the way from the wilds of the African continent, through the cotton fields of our southern states, and has been banned in most other decent parts of the country.
I'm sure you're all familiar with the cross-dressing law of 1863, which states, if any person shall appear in a public place in a state of nudity, or in a dress not belonging to his or her sex, he or she should be guilty of a misdemeanor and on conviction shall pay a fine not exceeding $500. Ooh. Does any of you have an extra $500 to spare?
When we get home done and it's nice and hot and the music's in the air to feel real hot and you kiss me there and it feels real good and I know you love me like you should.
Yo-ho, Harley. Yo-ho,
The Spanish came, planted their crosses into the land. Then came the citizens of Mexico to cut it up, to fence it off and make it into pastures for their ranches. Then came the white man to pan the water for gold and to dig into the land. You know, this land has always been contested land.
Homosexuals are openly admitting, even flaunting their deviation. Doesn't that give you a boner? Life magazine, 1964. It is now 1976. It is a good time to be in San Francisco if you are young and kinky.
I'm called the daddy of all daddies. Yes, but you can call me Daddy Allen. I'm the S in Mr. S Leather. I'm Alan Selby, and what I sell is kink. Asking for what you want is a revolutionary act.
My car keeps making this thump noise and it rattles every time I pick up speed.
You came to the right place.
Oh, terrific. Is the owner in?
You're speaking to him.
Oh, I didn't expect...
That's okay. We defy expectations on a daily basis. For 12 years, my partner and I would run this shop. And in that time, I trained 50 female employees. It was like a school here. It was like a family to me.
I used to have my own place with my own bedroom, my own play space. Now there's 4 of us under one roof, and 3 of us have AIDS. But some guys have it worse. Some guys have dementia. I still got my mind.
You know, Tom, a lot of lesbians didn't want us in the feminist movement. They thought BDSM was too sexist, too patriarchal, too exciting.
Our leather community brings gay men and lesbians together. We have been separate too long. I say, make room for everyone, except the gentrifying yuppies!
They turned off my heat. They said I should move away, but my home is on Folsom Street.
This is me.
It was transformation. You came to San Francisco and you became transformed.
That's enough of that. I'm Peggy. This is my store in Nasitica. I didn't write it all down because I'm so goddamn interesting. I wrote it all down because it was history. And I was there. You know I got a cure for that pain? I don't do needles. Peggy. Peggy. Janice? My Janice? My name is Hibiscus. What's yours? Sauciness and sass. Every light and lass. Say, the Cockettes are playing at the Palace tonight. The spectacle of rouge nipples, glittered beards, cardboard headdresses, and dime store jewelry. At this time, we ask that you turn off all cell phones and pagers. If someone calls you devil, tell them JC sent you. Sometimes you have to fight to tell your story.
Once again.